I'm Atakiltie from Ethiopia. I'm a consultant plastic and reconstructive surgeon working for Addis University School of Medicine. My clinical practice is at Adult Comprehensive Hospital. I've been a surgeon for the last 27 years and practicing reconstructive surgery for 20 years. I myself was a founding member. Then I became assistant program director, then program director, and now I'm the country representative. Also, I am one of the master trainers for adult education and surgical training program. I'm now working for the council. Some places in some countries there is an organized system whereby there is a continuous production of surgical force. In some places maybe it's not sufficient, but even if in those places where you have higher efficient system where you produce a lot of surgeons, there is a discrepancy between the number of people that you produce and the number of people that you require on the ground. And in this particular situation, the international partnership and the regional integration is very important. In this light, I would see COSECSA as an international partner and a partner that is also integrating into the regional system, whereby it complements and augments the already existing training program in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, we have a training program which is producing now. We have 50 residents and fellows. We have accepted colleagues from other parts of the African continent, but since we are dealing with a huge population of 120 million people, the rate of production is not sufficient enough to deploy enough number of surgeons and other related technical staffs pertaining to reconstructive surgery. So we have now a parallel program which is being run by COSECSA, and the contribution of COSECSA is almost it can be 1/3 of the contribution to near half is through COSECSA. So among 50 residents fellows that we have, probably more than 20% are coming through the COSECSA. I have been there from the time of inception. I mean, some years back, where COSECSA was in infancy, focusing on trying to coordinate itself. But currently, what I see is, number one, as we discussed before, there is a clear-cut contribution of COSECSA, augmenting the training program. And number two is the annual examination. The annual examination is a check and balance for national training programs, because those candidates are taking two examinations every year, their national examination and the COSECSA examination. So passing the COSECSA examination ensures the quality of education, the competence of the trainees, and also the system that is running the training program. And the third contribution of COSECSA is the regional integration. Like this week we have a course on cleft lip and palate, and COSECSA together with Operation Smile has pulled in different candidates from different parts of the African continent. And this has been there for the last two sessions. This is the third session. So the third contribution of COSECSA is coordinating a platform whereby there is a skill and knowledge transfer to particularly the young population. And the fourth is a specific program that is designed for a high-level training. That is, for example, I had the chance to get a scholarship for clinical leadership. I just finished my training in 2023, and that scholarship on clinical leadership has been sponsored by COSECSA. So there are other scholarships that are being delivered to the African colleagues, either by itself or in collaboration with other organizations like the Operation Smile, Second Chance, and so on. I see there are so many challenges. Definitely we are developing, and not only that we have shortage of manpower, but also we have poor infrastructure, lack of equipment, and also lack of consumables, and also funding, financing. So I think as the time goes on, hopefully COSECSA also will address the importance of improving infrastructure and equipment, particularly in the institutions where it is sending its candidates. There are hospitals where COSECSA candidates are being trained. So I think there should be a good relationship of COSECSA with these hospitals and health institutions, so that they will build up a win-win complementary platform. And I think they should focus on building up the infrastructure and also the equipment and consumables to ensure the quality of the training. I think I would expect two things to happen. One is improving the regional integration and also pulling up resources of different kinds from the region, and also assisting in build-up of international collaborations, and probably focusing by having a regional integration and international collaboration. The focus may be not only giving standard quality training for the surgical force, but this quality training also should cascade to other team members like the anesthesia team, the nursing team, and also in particular situations like left lip and palate, members of the multidisciplinary team should be addressed. That's number one. Number two, it ensures also the quality of the services. And also finally, I think operational research are important to advance forward. So I think COSECSA is lagging behind in collaborating with the regional organizations pertaining to research. COSECSA has been active for the last, very active in terms of the training programs in the last 10 or 15 years. So as an organization, it requires several decades to mature. But I would propose that the relationship and partnership should widen and get deeper based on the mutual interest of COSECSA and the national organizations, which also include the ministries. So the next meeting in Harare, will hopefully the presence of the Minister of Education, is a starting point to identify common interests and overlapping surfaces beyond potentiating and enhancing the training program. When you think of the working force, this is a very deficient working force in Africa, and it's a critical point. You might have a hospital, you might have the equipment and so on. If you don't have a trained manpower, surgical manpower, you cannot do anything. So this is something big as far as I'm concerned. Training, giving training, quality training for individuals and boosting the surgical force. And in this regard, I have a great regard to COSECSA. COSECSA, I mean, it doesn't have the kind of interaction is not on a national basis. It's on a regional integration. So the surgical societies are somehow integrated because of the presence of COSECSA. So this integration could lead to effectiveness in terms of use of resources, in terms of also tapping regional resources. Like we came here to Nairobi to give a training program, so it was so easy to pick up resources regionally to run such kind of a training program. So identifying regional resources, tapping them is another thing, and the international partnership with organizations outside of Africa has been very easy for us now because of the COSECSA. So COSECSA, I guess, is a very big platform, and if we succeed in regional integration when it comes to surgery, why not in anesthesia? Why not in pediatrics? Why not in internal medicine? If you are successful in medicine, integrating medical care, health care in Africa, why not in agriculture? Why not in education? So this is a big lesson. So we can learn from our experiences, and currently COSECSA is playing a central role in coordinating the different national societies. Otherwise they would have been working alone by themselves, and it wouldn't have any domino effect Professor Abebe is the Secretary General COSECSA. He is my colleague. He is from Addis Ababa University. He is contributing a lot to the region in terms of ensuring the research, the training programs, and also giving access and opportunities for international collaborations. The exam head is from Ethiopia. She's COSECSA member. Dr. Hanna Getachew. She's now heading the exam processes. My colleague, Dr. Igaremu, for example, is a program director for plastic surgery Ethiopia. So this is an example of how COSECSA is integrating regional societies, national societies, individuals, and so on. I'm proud and happy to be a member of COSECSA, and it's, I think, a prestige to be a member of a professional society like COSECSA. So, and also it allows me to contribute to the regional development of surgical practices. So I'm really happy and proud to work with COSECSA.